All
I
right.
dressed up for the occasion. Look at you. You got a virtual background.
Oh yeah, I'm in an undisclosed location, secret bunker. So
It's horrifying.
we hope everyone's doing well out there. Everyone's healthy. It continues, and we're happy to start what might become a rewatch series here on LMC
Fingers
Varsity
crossed.
Sports. Maybe we'll see how it goes. If you're watching on YouTube, we will be following along the chat. If you have a question or a comment you want to share, let us know. And Ken, anything you want to say before we get started?
I want to say that this is probably one of my favorite games that I ever did with LMC. I think you got the new logo behind you, which looks really cool.
Yeah, let me just ta-da.
Yeah, big fan. Look at that. And I like I love it all, man. I'm excited. I'm not going to say I think about this game a lot because that'd be a lie. But
that'd be a little weird, but okay.
I do have very fond memories. Number one, of the Homix Park ice rink, and number two, of this game in particular. It was a ton of fun.
All right. Let's just we're gonna do a quick share swap here.
I'm gonna close my closet door. It looks like there's a ghost coming out.
Maybe there is. Who knows? All right. Share with sound. Becoming a Zoom expert these days.
Yeah, hopefully we don't get hacked or anything weird. So if there's any weird stuff popping up on the screen, it's not us. Just saying.
Gotcha. All right. So seeing a black screen here on the share?
Oh, yeah.
Let's hit the go button.
Oh, man.
If the volume's too high, let me know. I can adjust it. It's pretty low. We did a test yesterday.
Fair enough.
Kind of want it in the background. So thanks everyone for joining in. I don't know if anyone's watching on TV right now. Right now I'm seeing one viewer on YouTube. That's probably me. But it's all right. Let's get started. We'll be rebroadcasting this all weekend as well. And hey, look, it's Ken with no beard.
Oh boy, that is something, man.
So this was the sectional semifinals of 2016.
In this game, that Mamaroneck fell to Pelham, ruining their championship hopes.
Kind of recapping.
That is wow. That's back when the hair was not.
Yeah, look at
falling out. So
side by side on that. So yeah,
I look good.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
So just to give a little bit of, I guess, context that you guys were giving here, this was a year later after Mamaroneck spent out 1 year in Division II because of enrollment numbers. They played Pelham at the same level, the sectional semifinal. They had, I believe it was a 2-1. I know they had a 1-goal lead late in the third, surrendered a game-tying goal, and then lost in OT. So this was the following year. They're back up in D1. A lot of their core is seniors. I mean, you look up and down this roster, man, talent.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It
was a yeah. Like I said, I honestly remember these kids because they were so good, legit. Tommy Spiro was like out of this world that season. I think he had he had like 5 or 6 shutouts that season. He was off his rocker. Captain Kirk was rocking and rolling. Beanstalk. Geez, I'm forgetting number 7. I know it was number 7 off the top of my head.
Alex Ewald. Ken, I sent you the roster, Ken.
I know, I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to do it off the top of my head. And then there's always just a couple of names that we could never get, right? Benton Kahan, right?
It turns out we were saying his name wrong the whole time, and we apologize. It's Khan.
Yes.
It's Khan. And if you're watching, we apologize. We love you.
We got anybody from the Kahan family joining, we do apologize.
Because there is no Kahan family. Oops.
Particularly, that's why we're apologizing.
Yeah, I mean, the top line on this team, unbelievable. And then, deeper down the roster, the talent, even the younger guys, Harrison Schreiber was a freshman, his first year on varsity on this team. He went on to play, didn't play his senior year at Mamaroneck.
I think particularly Coach Chap did a really good job with him. I remember because he was flashing. That kid was flash, bang, boom, right? And he had the hands of an angel. But, freshman kid playing against bigger dudes, more facial hair, the bigger, stronger, yada, 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 the whole Mighty Ducks stroke. But, he did his thing out there. But they sheltered him properly, I thought. Like, they let him do his thing. They let him play in the offensive zone. But, like, never once saw the ice in a penalty kill situation, I don't think. I think he only played, maybe 6 or 7 minutes a night? Right? Maybe tops, honestly. But
this year, yeah, he obviously was a frontline guy after this group graduated. But yeah, as a freshman, you want to give him ice time. He's there for a reason, and I agree. I think they managed his playing time well, and he had an impact as a freshman on this team. And then you look at a guy like Michael Carducci, who went on to be a star, and he was a sophomore. He missed most of the regular season this particular year with an illness, but I believe it was an illness. Don't quote me on that. But he came back and had a hot playoffs and actually ended up scoring the only goal of the state championship game. So that was as a sophomore.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah, these two teams were going at it. Scarsdale was coming off back-to-back Section 1 Division 1 championships. Then they graduated kind of some of their top guys. I know James Nicholas was part of that crowd that graduated the year before. But Section 1 Division 1 was theirs for a couple of years. They took it from Suffolk.
Mm-hmm. Now, did this game get particularly...
Their main rivals in this sport, especially two of the top programs in the entire state. Scarsdale losing in the state semifinal.
Ken, I think we're losing you.
The top-ranked team all season.
I don't know what he's particularly what that question was, but wait for Ken to come back.
Hello there.
Oh, I hear him.
You hear me?
I hear you.
Good. We're coming in. I'm trying to...
He's coming back. Well, this is this is what we live in now. Internet connectivity can be an issue, but Ken looks like he's back. I can see the orange shirt.
Yeah, little latency issues here, huh?
All right. Well, good thing I hardwired this computer for today. Shouldn't have any of that. Hopefully.
No, that's what I'm going for here. I don't know if that's even possible though on this thing.
Yeah, well,
You're telling me I can't hardwire? Come on, man.
I mean, you can if you have a wire and a port. We're not going to do tech support live here.
I do have the wire. I got no port. What's going on here?
What computer doesn't have a? What are you working on? What
That's
machine
what I'm
is
saying
this?
here, buddy.
His first 3 goals of the season, Ken, definitely came at a good time.
Now this game
It's
is
turning
really
into a fiasco.
Well, Ken's going to work through that. The show will go on. We're going to keep going through this game we're looking at. You see Scarsdale early on, kind of step for step. There's Spiro covering one up.
We had a sense of a lack of offensive execution by the
Still working on Ken.
in their last matchup. Not surprised.
If you're listening on YouTube and you want to ask us a question or if you have a comment you want to share, feel free.
Got a sense that the Tigers were
Be happy to hear from everyone out there. We are monitoring the chat there.
point with their game.
Steve, you mentioned it in the open. It's a defensive-minded game.
Scarsdale, it was Sam Seltzer, their sophomore goalie. He had a great career there, and he was a big reason why Scarsdale got to this level. And we give Mamaroneck a run for the money, as we'll see as this game goes on. And there he is right there.
Seltzer sees his first action of the day.
I think we had that mullet issue in the last
We
game.
did. My mullets, I got them confused.
Yep, the Seco not rocking quite as
Something
hard.
about a mullet issue from Ken. We're hearing from 2016 Ken, not 2020 Ken. 2020 Ken is still incommunicado.
That puck out to center. It's a foot race between Ryan DeHasia and Jonathan Schwartz. DeHasia left his feet to
The defensemen on this team too. We give a lot of credit to the forwards and to Tommy Spiro, but the defensemen on this team also did a great job. It takes a whole team to pull something like this off, a state championship run. And Nick Campbell, Jake Levine, Ben Kahn, like we mentioned earlier. Case and Ryan DeHasia really came on that year. Tucker Light. Those are the main guys that jump off the paper that were, and that's 3 D pairs there that you can depend on, which is huge at the high school level.
Jerry slams on the brakes, gets the return feed from Stemmerman. Can't hold it cleanly, and Ryan DeHasia will settle things down for the Tigers.
It's unfortunate that Will Arbo wasn't able to corral.
Ken says he's coming back.
Missed pass. That would have been a great odd man opportunity.
Torrey floats it in. It's sent high.
So if you have seen this game before, you'll know that Scarsdale's going to strike first and eventually strike second. And I think it was, we'll get into it later, but I think it was the comeback spirit of the Tigers that really, this was, besides the state championship game, the most difficult game they played on the way to that state title. You could argue this section championship against Suffern was difficult, but they didn't face as much adversity in the game. They crushed them. So
Sends it in behind, and now Scarsdale looks to start the breakout. It's carried by Schwartz down the wing, and a hand pass called. That'll bring the faceoff all the way back.
I think this was either the first year or the second year of the Homix Ice Rink after they remodeled it, if I'm remembering. It was kind of a revitalization. They put in new ice compressors, they replaced the glass. The lighting, as you might have seen briefly there, changed to LEDs from those overhead kind of lamps that didn't have consistent color temperatures. They weren't good for TV. If you're into photography or videography, you'd understand that. But very good lighting at the Homix Park Ice Rink. They did a great job. They're also moving the Zamboni gate to behind the left-hand goal if you're looking from the press box, which is where we're looking from here.
He's taken in nicely by the Scarsdale defense, so they're first to it. It's Stemmerman trying to come up the wall. He's knocked off the puck. Took a light long shot. That's knocked away. Stemmerman loses it to Kirk. Kirk wants to put it back in behind, and he's got Beanstock. Jason Beanstock sends it back the other direction. Kirk on it. Towards the line. Light sends it back in, and Kirk chops it a little further.
Well, the chat is still open if anyone wants to share any thoughts or comments. We'll keep that open, of course, through the whole broadcast here. Again, we do hope everyone, if you're joining us late, we hope everyone is well and healthy as they watch us and staying safe. And it's important to us that everyone stays healthy and we beat this. I think that's the big message that we want to get out. Is we hope everyone's well, and we're all in this together, even though we're in this separately. Still trying to get Ken back, by the way, if you joined us late. He was here for a while, had a great beard, had a nice orange shirt, and certainly we hope we get him back, because I don't know if I can hold this by myself for the whole time. Oh, here he comes. Maybe. Ken, he's back.
We're back, and we're hardwired in, so we should be.
Hope so.
We got the new. Oh yeah. All right. So what I miss?
Oh well, some hockey. No one's scored any goals yet, as you can see from the score graphic. Really just talking about. I was talking about briefly the defensemen on this team. The Mamaroneck had really like 3 D pairs deep that you don't see a lot in high school. Is 3 quality D pairs and listed their names, but these aren't the pairs. But Campbell, Levine, Kahn, Ryan DeHasia, Light, a couple other guys. Will Payne was a guy who I can't remember if he was a forward that was moved to D. He was a forward that was moved to D late in the season, and really put in a huge contribution as an extra defender. And then even in the power play, it was like having another forward on the ice, but he would play back on the blue line during a power play.
Yeah, I mean, have you? And that was the weird thing, not the weird thing, but the fascinating thing with Mamaroneck. He was always tinkering, just little tidbits here and there. They had their 3 up top, like you mentioned at the jump, right? They had their 3 guys, Ewald and Kirk, who were going to go and Beanstock, right? Who were going to go get it every day offensively. But everybody else was really just fluid, and that was, I think that's what made the team so good. And then of course, I have a fascination with Spiro on the back end. I mean, have you talked about Sam Seltzer at all yet? I mean, what are we, 5 minutes into this game? I'm sure he's made 15 saves.
Well, there you go, right there. Mentioned his name once, but I know we'll be talking about him a lot as you guys did during this broadcast. I mean, that's a point blank save there. Had it covered.
Yeah, I mean, he was so good, and it was. I think we've talked about this before. It was never done. Like he was hitting them. He was in the right spot. He's obviously super athletic. But like, he's a small dude for a goal. And
yeah.
He's quick.
Now, Ken, we're having a little trouble hearing you.
Having trouble hearing me now.
Yeah, that's a little better. I don't know. You want to turn your speaker down a little bit? That might help.
Turn my speaker down.
Just a smidge. I don't know if it's garbling your speech a little bit.
Garble.
That does sound better.
Better? Worse?
Yeah, I mean, I'm cheating. I have a podcast microphone hooked up here, so I've got a high-quality mic.
Must be nice.
That's, staff perk.
I could always call in on the phone, but I think that would give us some
phone soundingness.
Yeah, the audio wouldn't mesh, I don't think.
Probably not.
Oh, gosh, that could have been trouble, huh?
Yeah, it almost was.
Ooh, and that actually, from that angle, that would look dangerous.
Yeah.
Probably should have been a penalty. Okay, it was good.
That was the big penalty. I think that might have been I know early on there was a major for boarding. I think that might have been it. Yeah.
Don't they give him
that's the boarding call, yeah. Yeah, I think it was a 4-minute penalty.
Yeah.
The state really really jumbled up, the penalties because they went to the 17-30 periods for a year. And then there was an issue where the referees wanted to be, paid commensurately because they were working a percentage more on the ice. And an independent arbitrator said, yes, you have to pay them. And so mid-season, they switched back to 15 minutes, and that's where they've been ever since. And that was, I think, 2 years ago that was.
That is silly.
Because they played 17-30 in the regular season and then switched to 15 as soon as the playoffs started that year. Not this year. I think it was 2018.
Can we talk for a second about the famous cameraman?
Which one?
The famous cameraman who stood to our right every time at Homix.
Oh, I don't know if we should do that.
A good guy, honestly, good guy, but just in the way. That happens.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, there's the first goal.
Yeah.
And just thinking back, I don't remember Tommy Spiro giving up a whole lot of juicy rebounds. So Scarsdale really taking advantage of what they were given there.
Well, I mean, the good part about Rob, I'm going to tell you something that you probably knew, but when you have one extra player, it's really easy to get along. But, I mean, Spiro made a good first stop, and, of course, this one just gets over the line and counts, right? But, like, he makes the first stop. You're right. It's a little juicy. It's out there. The second one is actually a better save than the first one. He had the right leg sticking out, and then, of course, it just, it bounces around and goes in. But that was the kind of game this was from the start from Mamaroneck. Like, Scarsdale's getting those types of bounces. They're scoring on the power play right there. I think this game got a little bit rough at some points, right, with penalties and such.
Having trouble remembering that. I'm sure we'll find out.
Yeah, gosh, there was some games where it was just like every 30 seconds was just like, hook, trip, right to the head, whatever the heck. I don't know if that was this game, but it felt like that for a long time for this game in particular, like it was never going to turn back the other way.
Yeah, I remember during the game, I was on one of the ice level cameras and checking Twitter as I can with the Homix Wi-Fi back then, and even today it's spotty at best, but I know it's hard to.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So, and I was following. It was Mike Doherty who was covering Hockey for Lowhud back then, and he was, just talking about how, everyone's in panic mode now. It was, at one point in the second period, it was 2-0.
Yeah.
It's just getting later and later and later.
And you could see Shap shortening the bench like as the game went on. Like at that point in the second period, I think he played like 45 minutes straight. Like he was just on the ice. Him and Kirk, those were the guys he wanted out there. I mean, they got the job done. I'll always say I feel for Sam Seltzer. Like he deserved better than he got at the end of that game.
And we do have a YouTube comment from Team Tory Mom, Christine Tory, one of our biggest hockey fans, and reminding us that yes, this game did indeed get chippy.
Yeah, I recall some pushing and shoving here and there over the course of that fateful evening.
Well, Ken, it's a Mamaroneck Scarsdale game, and that happens in every sport.
Gonna happen. And now you set this up at the top, Rob, and I wasn't around in 2015. Well, I was, but I wasn't as involved with the hockey as I was in 2016. But you set it up in the beginning that this is the same game where Mamaroneck had fallen to Pelham the year before, correct?
Yes.
And so I think it was, and especially for guys like Ewald and Kirk and guys who had been through that before, I think they were gripping the sticks a little tight, especially with Sam Seltzer when he started standing on his head. Like they were getting, you could feel like it was nervous. People were nervous, and like you mentioned, the guy covering the game even saying it's full on panic mode. It was absolutely.
And they're still on this major penalty too.
And that's the problem. I was like, you like my name? It turns out my name is Jack now.
What?
Yeah, on the Zoom, my name is Jack.
Are you on your fiance's account?
I stole her computer. Luckily, she had finished working right before we started, so I could.
There, I fixed you.
Her machine has an internet port, which is something.
That's, you want your machine to have that. And I'm not a major computer tech head, but there are some things I do know.
And you want to be able to connect to the internet is one of them?
Yes.
All right. I can get with you on that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, man. So I got a few texts on my quarantine growth. We'll just consider this we'll consider it the playoff beard for this game.
Sure. I had some growth, but luckily I have a trimmer at home. I did not go. There's nowhere to get a haircut anymore in New York.
That's very true, man.
But
very true.
Brian Ruderman loves your shirt, by the way, Ken.
Well, he ain't wrong. This is the old Islanders Hawaiian getup. We have this at some sort of giveaway not too long ago at the old barn. No news. Rob. Last time we were on the Zoom here, we were talking about the postponement of the season. Still no update there. Everybody's still just kind of pushing along.
Yeah, schools are closed through. Schools are closed through nearly the end of April. I think the 26th is the date that's been put out right now, and then they'll reevaluate as we get closer to there. It's I don't want to make any conjecture about anything, but at that point you're talking about earliest May 15th starting games up, and then you've only got about a month or so until school ends, and that's on the best case scenario end. So it's concerning.
Yeah, I would think they're gonna have to think about some ways to make it right for those seniors. I don't know what that is, but they have to try and figure something out.
It's unfortunate. I personally really enjoy the spring season. I'm a big baseball fan. I've grown to love lacrosse as I've been in this position for 8 years now.
I actually had a lot of fun calling those games. I believe it was a lot of times myself and Steve. Steven Astis, who's on the call with me on this game.
Right, and Steve is a former high school lacrosse player as well.
Definitely former. He could not pull that off anymore.
Oh, no, he legally cannot be a high school lacrosse player anymore.
Although he did, I heard once that he tried to Bobby Valentine his way onto the bench once to coach a game with a fake mustache.
I mean, hey, I don't know if I'd recognize him with a mustache. Steve, if you're watching, we're sorry.
I'm not. Miss you, buddy.
Christine Torre is saying those are the days when we packed the jungle. They packed it pretty good this year as it got late. The playoffs, some of the bigger games. But yeah, I did feel like there was a bit of a lull there after the state championship run where your average game night, there'd be a fan section, but it wouldn't be quite like what you're seeing here.
This place was rowdy. I remember that.
I mean, I'm a 2005 graduate, and we used to pack the jungle. I remember I was there. This is back before they did neutral site section championship games.
Right.
Mamaroneck hosted Scarsdale, I want to say 2004. That was one of the rowdiest sports environments I've ever been in.
Yeah, you can see this. I mean, as we're talking, this game is starting to. I don't know how old are these kids? What, 16, 17?
Yeah, usually you graduate high school, you're 17 or 18. So
I don't know what kind of cereal Tommy Spiro's parents fed him when he was little, but nobody should be able to move like that. He's so quick.
Yeah, I remember him always being in the right position, ready for a save.
Oh yeah.
And then it was almost like he didn't, but it was like he covered himself in stickum or something. He never gave up rebounds. That's in high school. So most teams, their game plan is put it on the goalie, get a juicy rebound, smack it in. You take away the rebounds, most teams are not going to consistently be able to score.
Yeah, having somebody on a high school team with the talent to just rip it by the goalie is going to be minimal. Number one, because you're not going to get that many chances to just do that. Right, not a lot of stuff develops off the rush here. It's a lot of choppy play that maybe winds up in the goal crease and you just hack away at it, right? That's how high school sports work. But if you have a guy like Spiro down there, or even Seltzer here, you're watching on the other side of the rink, those guys don't let you try again. You either shoot and score or you're screwed.
Right.
Now Nicholas steps up to take it. Who wants to send it out on
Gosh, that voice is so silky on this game.
It really is. It's like Joe Buck Jr. or something.
Ooh, boy. Isn't Joe Buck already a junior?
Well, I don't know, because his dad is Jack Buck.
Yeah, but is Jack do they do a weird thing where his name's actually Joe and they just call him Jack?
I don't know. My father-in-law's name is Jack, but his real name is John, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's actually ever been named Jack.
Oh, I think these days there are a lot of Jacks.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. If you look at the naming trends the last 10, 15, 20 years, yeah, there's a lot of Jacks that are just Jack. There's Jacksons. There's Jackson with an X.
Jackson. I got to say, I don't know if anybody watching is named Jackson. I've never met a nice Jackson. They've all been mean. Every single one.
Well, they're going to be mean to you now.
Well, good. I accept this. But that's the end of one, huh?
That is the end of 1-0 Scarsdale.
Oh,
look at that camera guy with the hustle getting the back to the. That was me.
And how about that edit, Rob? How about that? You're we're done. Here right too. Here we go.
Who wants to watch a bunch of upset hockey players? Maybe you do want to watch a bunch of upset hockey players walk back to the
depends
locker
on who you're rooting for.
Nice fresh.
Gosh.
Ken, do you remember? I don't remember if it was this game or if it was a different year or a different day, but I remember one year we did a game. It was a playoff game, the end of February, and it was oddly warm out. It was 65 degrees that day.
It was hot.
And the Zamboni finished, and they were ready to get back on the ice, and it just wasn't ready.
Yeah. Yep. It was puddles. The whole rink was soaked. I do. I vividly remember that.
As Levine lost the stick.
What a weird thing that happened there. He just shedded his equipment like a lizard.
We had a game this past year where someone, I think he broke his stick. See, he didn't drop the stick. He broke someone else. They're talking about a game this year. He broke his stick. And instead of dropping it right away, he tried to discard it because he was near the bench. And he got a penalty for that.
Yeah.
Which is the rule.
Gotta be careful with that stuff, man. Hey, that's even a rule in the NHL. Like you that thing breaks, you drop it. It doesn't
That's a weapon.
Yeah, I mean, geez. Ooh, this is a chance, huh? That's a nice play. Is that 22? Yeah. That's a nice play. And there's that rebound control you've been talking about. Just, easy push to the corner.
I think part of that's just staying calm. You don't want to be a goalie who makes the stop, and then all of a sudden you're scrambling.
Well, I mean, you just asked Tim Thomas how that goes. I mean, that guy was a nut. But, I mean, and we even talked to Tommy. What a weird way to make that save there, Sam. It was a strange position you wound up in. Whoops. This guy's having a rough shift here. Oh, I said that in the game, too.
How about that?
Nailed it, man. I told you, rough shift. I can see it from 5 years in the future. It's going to be a rough shift. One of the things, Rob, that frustrated me the most about doing these games is the lack, and I know it's high school sports, I know there's rules, but just the lack of roster knowledge that other teams were able to provide.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes they'd be like, yeah, here's the team. And other times they'd be like, yeah, 3 dudes. Good luck. And then they'd get mad at you sometimes when you were like doing the game and you didn't know who anybody was. And you're like, well, what do you want me to do?
What am I supposed to do? Yeah, that's the one of the things about working in high school sports is, the data, the knowledge, whatever you need is not consistently going to be there. So you have to kind of find ways to get creative without it or find ways to get it.
Yeah. Now I'm remembering there was once I wonder if I can find it in my Gmail, because didn't I get didn't the team yell at me?
Oh yeah, there was an incident, a Twitter, and I think it was this postseason. I think it was earlier this postseason.
Was it, or was it early the next season? Because wasn't it like a school that had to mix programs?
Yes, and it was a postseason game. I'm remembering. I might have been earlier this postseason. It could have been the year before, the year after.
Okay.
So don't quote me on that. It was a first round game that Mamaroneck did really well in. And the other team, their Twitter presence at least, they didn't like the way that you said they were being skated around.
Oh, sorry. I mean, skate better. What do you want from me? I can't help you. Oh. He was like, come on. Gosh.
That was a perfect setup, and he just gets there with the pad.
Oh. And there's professional goalies who can't go side to side that quick. While
it was a perfect setup, a perfect pass. He was in the exact right spot.
Gosh. God, man, that kid had such a night. And you know what? It turns such. I'll tell you, I'll beat this drum all day. This kid, that night should have been like his favorite of all time, and instead it turns out to be like depressing.
Yeah, this game really turned as we'll see, but as it went on.
In a heartbeat, man. In a heartbeat. Wow, that was a terrible pass. These kids are what? These kids are like 22 now, so I can tell them if they did something dumb now, yeah?
I mean, I guess. I don't know. We're kind of in a unique position here. Usually we're talking about, high school kids, and, we don't want to say anything unnecessarily mean.
Well, apparently that never stopped me in the past, I suppose.
Well, But yeah, these kids are all graduated and they're older, and you know, they won the state championship. What
What are they? Yeah, are they? These guys are out of college by now, right? I mean, it's been
the seniors. Yeah, it's been 5 years. The
Yeah.
seniors are, at least I would think. I don't want to be presumptive. You know, some people take more time than others,
naturally.
but time has passed.
So if they're a senior, I'm going to tell them if they did something dumb. 'Cause now they're just, I mean, they got jobs. They probably have more money than I do. Who the hell cares? This is daddy's juice.
Long shot is deflected by Kirk. It ends up in the corner. Kirk's on it. Looks back for Beanstalk. Brian
I will say, now that I'm like rewatching this game, Sam Seltzer just looks like Gumby. Like he's everywhere. He's not doing it like he and Spiro, two very different goalies.
Equally effective in this one.
Equally effective. Oh, rip that.
Woof.
Puck loose, gets back to Levine with a little space. Long shot stopped by Seltzer. Levine taking that shot.
Yeah, Seltzer, like every time the puck hits him, he's like
Nice play by him. Stemmerman to the net.
freaking out.
There's 2-0.
Sam Stemmerman beats Tommy Spiro, and it's 2-0.
That's a good goal, man.
It usually takes a good goal to get it past Spiro.
And that's when Spiro normally reads pretty well, if I remember correctly. I mean, geez, again, we're talking about a 5-year gap here, but Spiro was really, really good at cutting across. Like, if you were going to beat him, it was going to be on. Oh, yeah,
He chipped it. Yeah, he chipped it glove side.
Yep. Yeah, and he was in the right spot. Like, I mean, like I said, like he was very, very good at tracking the puck going across.
That was just a great shot.
Yeah. But like Steve even mentioned in the game, Spiro's mad at himself for it. And it's probably one he wants back. I mean, I'm sure when the final horn goes off, he doesn't really care anymore. But I mean, and here we are. We're like, okay. There's your first Mamaroneck chance.
And this was kind of like the first step in the tide starting to turn, because you're down 2-0 in a section semifinal game, midway-ish through the second, and you know you're a little worried.
Yeah, man. If Scarsdale got one more, I mean, this is over. So about how much time is left? Are we about more than halfway through second period here?
I think a minute or two ago I saw about 10 minutes left, so we're almost halfway through, I think.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, this is where you've got to say, all right, oh boy, you know, like if they get one here.
There it is, 8:40 left. Just got a peek at the scoreboard.
Can we talk about Sam Seltzer some more?
I mean, I think we're going to for a while.
Look at this. That's one with the left pad, and then the stick. Ah! Put me to bed, you know? Take me to the liquor store. Call me Stacy, you know? That's it. I'm done.
Now, talking about this, how much time is left thing, we do want to remind everyone that we're getting a van. I know that's been lost in the shuffle of the COVID crisis, but it's just about ready. It would have been ready by now if this virus never hit. And we're going to have live titling, which is awesome.
That's exciting.
So it's got an attachment that feeds into the graphics. I'm not going to get too technical, but basically the scoreboard will update itself in real time on the broadcast as it updates at the field or the rink or the court. So that will include time data as well.
And then Rob is going to let me broadcast hockey games from right here.
No, not going to do that.
I'll do it for free. How about that? Can't beat that.
I guess I can't argue that, but you can get what you pay for, you know?
Oh, ouch. You know, right in the...
I mean, look at the technical issues today. I'm not paying you today.
That's fair. That is fair. All right, maybe you're right. Maybe I'll pay you.
Okay. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know how I'm allowed to do that.
Again, steps up and shoots off the glove
Mm.
of Seltzer. A centering feed from Kirk will go all the way back.
Seltzer, was he a senior? Yeah, right?
No, he was. I've got it right. He was a sophomore during this game.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Do you have any knowledge as to how he fared the rest of his time?
He was just as good the rest of his career. I don't think Scarsdale as a team didn't really achieve any, grand greatness. But, they had, as they've had good years. A lot of it because of him keeping them in a lot of games.
Yeah. I mean, that's not shocking even the least bit.
But that's the difference. See, Mamaroneck, not only did they have a great goalie at the time, but they had,
Yeah.
2 to 3 lines that could compete with anyone, and then 2 to 3 D pairs that could compete with anyone. Just a complete roster of talent that they built, especially for this particular year. But even the year before and the year after.
Yeah. If I could talk about one of my biggest pet peeves in the game of hockey, and we saw it on that last play, Will Payne, we've gushed over Will. They would play forward, defense, wherever the heck they told him to play. State champion, XYZ, good guy. Instead of playing defense on that last play, he decided he was going to call offsides and just held his hand up at the blue line for a while, which everybody does. And I'm not picking on him. Like everybody, professionals do it, kids do it, everybody does it. Let the referees do that part. Your job is to play the sport. Put your hand down and go do it.
They're
actually, I would think, less likely to call it if you do that.
I'm sure. Just like how when you are just like when you're, hey, what is up with Seltzer, man? He can't hold on to a gummy bear, that kid. Ooh. Man.
Getting physical.
And now Arbo, he's just like, I'm going to do it now.
Is that a penalty? How is none of that a penalty? And Will Arbo got spun around and pushed to the ground, and
I think he was moving too fast for his own feet.
Maybe
he was running on adrenaline after that hit, and he was just whirling dervish around the rink, and kind of just his feet were like, we can't, we're done, we got nothing left. Help.
2-0 in favor of the Raiders. Offensive zone draw for the Tigers. Ewald wins it. Torrey shoots right into the catching glove of Seltzer.
So little, such a little man.
Hey, sometimes that could be an advantage. Your eyes are closer to where the shot's going to come from. And this happened to the Tigers just a couple of months ago at the end of the winter season this year. ETBE upset them in the semifinals. Their goalie got really hot in the postseason, and he was not very tall. If he was 5'4", I would have been shocked.
That's the thing, man. I mean, you can ask any coach who's been laid off in the last decade what their save percentage was as a team when they got let go, and that's why people lose jobs in the NHL. Goalies get hot, goalies get not, and that's it.
And thanks, Team Tourmont. It was JP Rosabella was the goalie from ETBE. Plays for Mamaroneck's travel team. So I guess he gets to come to the next travel game and smile at everyone. I don't know. He gets to do something. I don't know what it is, but
yeah. Maybe he's got to carry all the bags to the bus or something. What? So I remember this year in particular, there's a lot of crossover with hockey, lacrosse, baseball. Are there still a lot of multi-sport dudes?
There's a few. I don't have this year's roster pulled up. You can't really cross between baseball and lacrosse. They're in the same season.
Right.
A decent amount. There's usually a few kids that play that play 2 or 3 sports. I think baseball and boys hoops had a lot of crossover this year.
Do they? You know what? There was another. We also did a fun game, Ryan basketball with the buzzer beater right at the end.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. That was Aiden Heaton, who had a good career, but I think he was a freshman that year. hitting
I
that.
remember
Yeah.
our good friend Steve Anastas. Steve, if you're listening at any point on a replay, and this will go down in the record books, I will never forget that you stepped all over my call during the buzzer beat.
All right.
Steve, I'm taking that to my grave, Steve.
I'm going to leave that between you two guys. I'm not getting
Never be forgiven unless you send a Venmo to @Ken-Reichman. $5. Whatever you got, whatever you can spare is fine by me.
Yeah, these days, there's not a whole lot for everyone to spare.
Yeah, I'll take, a few shekels. I'll take them.
But they're just not getting any solid opportunities on goal.
That coffee is so room temperature.
Ooh.
It's not cold, which is good. It's not hot, which is good. It's just
Blah.
Luke cold. Not good.
Oof.
And that's 2 real good saves. How
Yeah.
is he behind?
And he laid a hit in between.
How is he behind the net?
What was I going to say? Is your fiance around? Could she bring you some ice cubes or something?
I know. She might be sleeping. She's hard that one. Up at 3 a.m. this morning for the old jobberoni.
Oh.
Yeah. I got myself a PTO day here, so I can be here with you folks.
Oh, very nice. We, of course, are grateful you're here and happy to have you on joining us.
We don't have to put words in their mouth, bro. You see Levine on the back end there after Seltzer made that save. He just threw his hands up. He's like, "This is stupid.
How do we beat this guy?"
I'm leaving." What is that? A defenseman in there also? This Scarsdale team, they're just everywhere.
That's it. That's the first goal. It was, I think it was Ryan DeHasia from like near the blue line off the drop.
Yes, and
I'm making sure to say it because I know for a fact that we don't have any good replay angles of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was really disappointed when I went to edit this game. This happens a lot.
I'm fairly certain it got tipped on the way in. Yeah.
I think it was credited to Ryan DeHasia, but I
mean, it might have hit a
get that, and then it went through so quick. It rattles around back there. We can't really see it.
Yeah, that's tough. Like I said, I mean, you just heard me say in the game. At this point in the game, who cares? Like, it went in.
Who cares whose goal it is? It's our goal.
Yeah, we're going to take it and keep going here because this guy just made a save from behind the net on the last play, so we'll take anything we can get. Sometimes you got to score off a butt. It's the only way.
Hey, whatever. Hey, and that might have been, besides the goal that won the championship game, that might have been one of the most important goals of the season because you're down 2-0. You haven't been able to beat this kid at all, and now you're a bounce away from being tied.
It's crazy. I will never forget the Beanstalk goal. We'll see that later, obviously. But they just made it.
And this was really the last real difficult game they played until the state championship. I've got it all here. So they win this game. They win the section final 5-1 over Suffern.
You see the two defenders from center ice are like, "Oh, that's absolutely in."
They go in the state quarterfinal. They win 5-1, and then I forget who they played in the state semifinal with, but they won that game by I think 3
I was
goals.
there with you that game.
Yeah, that was the quarterfinal. Yeah, that was the one in Suffern.
Suffern, yes.
Right, and then the state semifinal.
I remember that. I think they played a red team, I believe, if I remember
Messina.
correctly.
Yeah, Messina from nearly Canada.
Yes, that was a good game. It was actually kind of I'm not going to say a boring game, but it was like very compared to this one and then the state That was very like, oh, like you knew what was going to happen from start to finish, and it did.
Looks to put it towards the front of the net. It
Smart
bounces
play
around.
by Arbo, but there was no one there for him.
Brian DeHasia sends it in hard. Torrey along the near side.
Now, the one thing I remember going into that Messina game was, they were a program that kind of had been doing it longer. They had several state championships and appearances there, and I think that was the only fear, was like, these guys have been there, this program has been there and done it several times. But I remember that first period, Tommy Spiro had a lights out first period, and I think they either took a lead or went up 2-0 near the end of the first period, and
I think it was 2. They scored late. They scored real late.
like at the buzzer practically.
Yeah.
And they were kind of able to coast from there.
That camera lens, man. That, oof.
And then sends a soft shot that Spiro turns aside.
Oof.
Scarsdale getting some offensive zone time here off the turnover from Tommy Spiro.
It's interesting because you mentioned like how big that goal was, that first goal Mamaroneck scored. And like, you just don't see. Oof. That is a great save. Goodness
Wilkirk
gracious.
State Player of the Year that year, by the way.
Yeah, he was very, very good. That shot, that exact shot from that spot on the other side of the ring is what's going to win this game.
Actually, I think it was from further out.
Yeah, maybe it was more towards the boards too. Top of the dot and closer to the wall, I think.
Yeah, it was. I think he just caught it. I mean, we'll get to it later, obviously, but I think he kind of caught everyone by surprise with what was the game-winning goal. Like, why would you shoot from there? And it was just a snipe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to lay in on Sel. Obviously, not going to tell Sam Seltzer how to play goalie. He obviously knows what the heck he's doing. But it was one of those where, like, the one that went in 2 minutes before obviously rattled him. It was very clear. Because it just snuck over the line. It was 5-hole goal, which makes nobody feel good when it goes in. And, like, the next shot is the one that beats him to end the game. Like, you could say it's just sophomore, it's sophomore brain. That's how that goes, man. And that's why your point earlier about the team they played later on who's been there before, right? That actually does mean something in these situations, especially with high scores.
Stock in there, and Seltzer holds onto it with 7 6/10 seconds remaining.
So here's the thing: it's 2-1. We're still, what was it? 7? Did you say 7 seconds left in the second period?
Yeah, 7 seconds. Yeah.
Now they don't score that game-tying goal until nearly the final 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, no, it gets scary for a long time. Because at some point they like. If I remember correctly, at some point they stop even like really getting good chances.
7.6 to go. Offensive zone draw for the Tigers.
To answer Mrs. Torrey, I do not have the stats for shots on goal from this game, although you can kind of peek up at the scoreboard as the camera zooms out.
Earlier in the period, to answer that question, earlier in the period, what is it? It's 34-14 right now.
34 shot. Holy moly.
Dude, I wasn't kidding about the Seltzer stuff, man. The kid was undeniably great.
And through the magic of television, it's the third period.
Huzzah! Who was the oh gosh. Rob, who was the third string goalie or the backup goalie who got into a game at the end of the season?
Oh, was that Luke Charla?
Yes, it was his senior year.
Yeah, that was Luke Charla.
That was a feel-good story, huh? That was fun.
Oh, yeah. We almost always show up for senior night. It's always, whether the game's good or not, it's always entertaining.
Absolutely.
They tie each other up. Torrey with space. He shoots. Seltzer has it, drops it, and then covers up.
I have to imagine Coach Chaparelli's advice.
Gosh, I gotta say, whoever this kid is calling the game really he's got a knack for it.
Oh.
Never met him though. Probably a real jerk.
By the way, that has been outlawed. You can't put the bottle on top of the cage anymore.
Why not?
I don't know, but they made a rule about it like a year or two ago.
It's weird. Where do you have to?
So now when you score a goal, you can't pop the water bottle off. I think it was a safety
I
issue.
suppose that's why they made the rule. But where do they put it now? Bench?
I think some goals have like a pocket on the back post you can put it in.
No, they do that in the NHL because they don't want the bottle to interfere with play.
Right.
Don't imagine that being the case in high school.
No, I don't. Although they do have. Ooh, that kid took a shot off the shoulder. That was Spencer Shell. They do have replay in the state championships now in high school for hockey.
Really?
I don't think that's the reason for the rule. I think it really is more of a safety thing.
Yeah, you wouldn't want anybody to choke on it, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know if they're concerned about a puck hitting it and like flipping the lid off or crushing it to bits. I don't know. Safety first, but they've been doing it for a long time. Didn't see it as an issue unless there was an incident I'm not aware of.
It sounds like they needed to hit a quota of rules to change.
They go, we can't change the periods to 17:30. All right, well let's take the
our budget
off the top of that.
Freeze for an extra 7.5 minutes of game, so can't fix that. So let's just change the water bottle thing.
Yeah.
They have a vault of like really dumb rule changes, and they're like, they open it up, it's like a golden envelope. They're like, oh, it's the water bottle rule. So this is why this game became so panicky, because they're not owning this period as much as they did earlier. And if I remember correctly, like there's no real good chances for them for quite a while.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Every second that goes by, it's one less second where you can tie the game, and it kind of got that anxiety feeling just growing until Jason Beanstalk finally allowed them to exhale.
And it was even one of those things where, like, and it's high school, so it's to be expected, but, like, everybody tried to do a little bit too much. Like, every time Arbo or Ewald got the puck, they were just going end-to-end with it, trying to do their own thing, which is not how they were playing the first two periods. It's a devolution? That can't be a word.
I think it might be. It's either devolution or de-evolution. I'm thinking it might be de-evolution. I feel like devolution is something I stole from the Super Mario movie. Do you remember that? Where King Koopa has the devolution chamber.
I don't know. Devolution just sounds like we shouldn't be saying it this close to Easter and Passover and such.
It's got the devil in it.
Yeah. Well, you know, I don't want to summon anybody.
But at the same time, all the while you must preach patience. Exactly. Overplay.
Play your game and the chances will come. Beanstalk collects down in center. Carries on the near side.
You can always count on Steve for the wisdom.
And he holds on to it.
Yeah, it's funny. We have our podcast we call the Nosebleeds. We say from the Nosebleeds we can see everything. Steve's someone that would be more of, I want to say, like from the box seats. Because well, historically, you know, he's I think had better seats for sporting events than we have, and you know, you kind of get those finer details that you may not be able to see from way up above.
Yeah, Steve's the kind of guy who you go to a game with and he goes, see that across the field at the 20-yard line? That is Mrs. Smith. She and I went to high school together. I used to get beers with her boyfriend. He's now married to Mrs. Phillip down the road. He knows everybody. He's seen everything. He's got like a weird backdoor like knowledge of every like family in the school system.
Not going to deny that. Steve does know a lot of people.
He does.
Yeah, and that's a good question there, Mrs. Torrey. Very few penalties in this game considering how much hard-hitting action there was.
Yes.
And we do want to note for those watching on the YouTube stream that there is, I think, like a 30 or 60-second delay on YouTube. So we might be a little slow in getting to comments and questions, but we're seeing them, trust me.
Yeah, and to echo that comment, I mean, this game, and we talked about it earlier. Oh, that's a good move, huh? Oof. Evil was so silky, huh? So silky. Got like baby hands. They're so soft. Anyway, to answer that comment, this game, we talked about it earlier. This game is a little chippy, but I think, and I don't know, I feel like the officials did a nice job of keeping control of what was going on, especially with how much.
And you got to remember that in high school at the semifinal level, there's a third official on the ice. They usually play with two.
Yes. So, I mean, especially with like how jazzed up and energized and emotionally charged the building was, I think they did a really good job. But I also think like the kids are keeping it clean, honestly. Like that's probably a penalty, but you know, I guess we'll let that go.
There's a certain point where you don't want to get in the way of the game as an official. Like obviously, if something happens that threatens player safety, you want to stop it. But some of the more ticky-tack things, you like to see them let them go when the level of competition is so high.
I really go back and forth on that, man. It's so hard for me because like penalties are penalties in my head all the time. Like triple hook is a hook. That's what it is. Call it on day one. You got to call it on day 475. But
so Ken, does that mean you're the kind of guy that like if a baseball game gets out of hand, you don't want him to expand the strike zone a little bit?
No, I think there should be robot umpires. So I'm the wrong guy to ask.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, baseball is a weird animal. I mean, honestly, you put a timer on that. It's a blowout. You start a clock, right? You got an hour. That's it. At a 10-run difference, you hit the timer, you've got 60 minutes, and then the game's over. It doesn't matter where you are in the game.
Well, in high school, it just ends. There's a 10-run. They don't want to call it the mercy rule, but whatever they call it, the verbiage is leaving me. But
do they not call it a mercy rule?
No, they don't like to use the term mercy. I think I don't know. Just in the interest of being PC, but if you're up 10 runs and you get through 5 innings or 4.5 if the home team's up, that's it. And they introduced that at the same time as the pitch count limitations. So it kind of makes sense that you can kind of save some arms that way too. A couple of innings you don't have to pitch anymore.
Well, remember this moment, folks. 9.5 remaining in the third period.
So Mamaroneck to the power play.
So what happened there? Was that too many men?
I wasn't sure. I clearly didn't have a replay. It might have been too many men. I'm really not sure. But they finally did call one. Hey, it's Mike Smith.
It must have been something, and I mean, clearly I was incensed about it. It's inexcusable, I say. Put my fist down. Oh.
That doesn't go in.
Oh. Oh, dear.
Puck don't lie.
Oh.
That's literally a bounce.
Will.
That might have been in.
Where is it? I don't even see it.
I thought I saw it skittering in, but I mean, that might have been like a black part of his uniform that I saw on the ice. I don't know.
I mean, if he took a half a second, this game's tied right now.
Yeah.
He rushed it. He didn't have the angle he wanted. Do you think at this point in their brains, that was an incredible pass, by the way. That was awesome. Do you think Jason Beanstalk knows that he's going to be the hero here?
I don't think anyone knows they're going to be the hero.
Like, do you think it's going on in his head right now? Do you think right now he's like, yeah, I'm going to do it?
I don't know. Did we interview him after this game? I can't remember. I know we spoke with Will Kirk.
Yeah, because Kirk gets the winner. I'm sure I made you speak with Spiro. Sorry about that. I made you do that every game. He makes a big save. Yep. See, humongous.
Yeah. You can't afford to give any more up here.
Man, gosh, too smart. Oh, Kirk.
See, at least at this point, I know they're on the power play, but still, like, they're generating chances here.
Yes. But now I think they take one.
Too many men. This one's too many men for sure.
So I know that because I think what happened was I think Scarsdale got called for too many men. And I think, well, Scarsdale got called for something, maybe unsportsmanlike or something like that. And I'm fairly certain that the Scarsdale coaches called the officials over to say, listen, they're making bad changes or something like that. And we're close, like we're very close to the benches. You can't necessarily hear everything, but you can kind of get the gist of what's going on sometimes. And then they came back, and I'm fairly listen, I'm not going to say they gave him a makeup call because that's heavy verbiage to use. But at the same time, like, if you get called for unsportsmanlike up a goal with 7 minutes left in the game, you've given that team a chance. And like you've just talking about, like, you don't want to get in the way of the game, so you got to even it up. And you can ask any hockey fan, when you get to the playoffs and your team gets a power play in the first period, you know you're going to be shorthanded next. You don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know if it's going to be a good call, an annoying call, or a bad call. But you know it's going to happen. Your team is going to be shorthanded next. And I have a little inkling that that's what happened in this game. They had to give it back to Scarsdale, and they did.
Let's say 43 shots on goal from America. That's a wow.
Dude. Yeah.
I mean, you see 43 shots on goal, you're expecting that 5 are going to be in.
I mean, especially in high school. I mean,
yeah.
This guy ends up giving up 3 goals on like 50 shots in a high school like title game.
That is admirable. Very admirable.
As a sophomore.
Yeah.
Come on. But this is when things get a little rough because I think everybody right now, you can hear the crowd is like, you know, like I think everybody's starting to feel like we might not do this.
And it takes a special team, not just, you know, skills-wise, but mentally to have the toughness to still continue to compete. I mean, you're going to continue to compete either way, but to have the toughness to actually do it and come back and have that confidence that you're going to succeed.
Well, yeah, the power play is over now, so we're back to even.
About 8 minutes and change left, I think.
Too many men on the ice call. Carducci had been serving that for the Tigers.
Yeah, so both teams too many men.
Steven Nicholas wants to calm things down just a bit.
Come on, Ken, give me a time check.
He gets the pass on the take with McDonald.
Ooh, this could be bad.
Now, right at his gut. It's hard to give the time checks in hockey because there's just so much happening. And I do tell people that hockey is probably the most difficult sport to announce because of that. It's just keeping up with the pace.
Oh, I think I'm doing a bang-up job, bro.
Oh, no, I think you are. I'm just a general comment that, you know, when people say I want to do hockey, I'm like, maybe you should try something else first.
I will say that's why I've always said Howie Rose is probably one of my favorite announcers of all time because of his ability not only to do hockey, which is I think is the most challenging sport to do play-by-play for.
I mean, there's hardly time to take a breath in when you're doing hockey, especially if you can think NHL. Like,
but he also does baseball at such an incredible pace. They're so different, and
they're polar opposites.
Yes, and I struggled with that for sure. Howie Rose is a storyteller, and that's why he's so good at doing both of them because he can take the play-by-play for hockey. He can work into a story that he's telling during the course of the game, and also giving you the play-by-play, and that's why he's so great at baseball, right? I don't think many people would say Howie Rose is not a good baseball announcer by any stretch.
Right, and it is. It's, you know, hockey is where it's a fit versus a fill. In hockey, you're trying to fit all of your thoughts into a constrained amount of time before the next thing's happening. And in baseball, you're trying to fill all this space between things happening.
Absolutely. And I'm more of I like to do it like a radio broadcast when I'm doing hockey. I like to keep going. I like to get the rhythm, build up that everything's happening, things are changing, people are touching, passing, shooting, hitting, XYZ. It's always going on. But that's what made baseball so difficult for me because you got to take a break. Did you hear that guy get murdered?
Yeah.
Wow, man, it's a real shame we let somebody get murdered during the game. We probably should have blown the whistle or something.
Long shot, steered aside by Spiro. Puck into the corner.
Well, the hit you're looking at, was it from the side? Was it from behind the back? It was. You talk about a clean hit versus a dirty hit. It's all about the direction it came from.
Here we go.
This puck, I don't know how it went in.
Me neither, man.
You talk about all the saves that Seltzer made where we don't know how it didn't go in. This one, I still don't really know how it got through.
Oh, it still gives me chills. I mean, you can even hear me say it. Like, I'm like, oh, save, because he's there. He gets there, the stick's down, he's sealed up against the ice. There's no way this puck should have gone in.
It just barely trickled through the 5-hole.
This guy got his full stick on it. He's got his legs shut, and his butt is literally almost sealed to the ice. And somehow that puck squeezed through the goal.
I have no idea how to this day. And I've seen this replay several times. Right. Now here comes Kirk right now.
Let it happen.
Now here's the question. What was better, the goal or the dab?
The dab was legit, and nobody can take that away from the kid. Nobody can take the dab. Come on, Rob, hit me.
I'm not. All right.
Yeah, there we go. That's the stuff. This has now become the whitest show on earth.
Well, I mean, the dab was so good that there's a replay of the goal, and it was awesome. But there's a replay of the dab.
Oh, he's hitting it.
Yeah.
Come on.
You can see it in the motion blur.
Oh, man. And then that's it. 30 seconds, man. Oh, gosh. Oh, man.
That was the thing and that was the thing that I think that goal kind of tipped me off to that I should have realized earlier was Will Kirk just knew where everyone was on the ice. And not just from scoring, like he set other players up like incredibly. I don't know if I really fully got a sense of how good he was at that until this playoff run.
I think he was a very understated player. I'm not going to say underrated, right? Because he won an award. I forget what.
He was the state player of the year in Division I.
Player of the year. So I'm not going to say underrated player because when you say player of the year, maybe sounds like you're perfectly rated. But the understated part of his game, he was never absent in the defensive zone. He was always looking to make the right play, whether that's shipping it in, making a pass, or just putting it on net. He was in the right spot all the time, and he's quick, man. It's like even like a little finesse play like that. He's like, I got no legs, I'm getting rid of that. He knows what he's doing. He's a very understated player, not underrated.
Agreed. And we've got a comment, and I think it is a good question from Mrs. Torrey. Surprised that Scarsdale didn't call a timeout there. That would have been, if you're going to use it, that's your spot.
That's a really good point. That's a really, really, really good point, Ms. Story. Especially, and like I think I mentioned this back in the second period. You could see it in Seltzer's body language and everything that he was not into it anymore. And especially after the Beanstalk goal goes, and then that Kirk shot goes in. Great shot, great spot, perfect placement. But that's what Seltzer wants every time. And that goes in, and all of a sudden, the clock is your enemy. You're down one in the opposing building. There's no better time to call a timeout. You're right. File your application. Get you on the next rewatch. Woo!
That could have been a trip.
Low there, friend.
Yeah.
He almost London bridged the guy.
Yeah.
By the time he made contact, he was literally on all fours. That's how low he was. So what do we got? Can't really see the clock up there.
I think we just got under a minute.
Oof. That could have been bad.
There's your empty netter ball game.
Man, you do not hate to see it, bro.
Well, it depends which team your allegiance is with.
I suppose you're not wrong about that. Man, oh man. It was always interesting to me how many captains there were. Everybody's got a C on their jersey.
There were 4 on that team. I think they all happen to be on the ice.
I think Spiro has got one too, right?
I don't have him marked on my roster as a captain for that year. I know he definitely was as a senior. I don't think I
know
see
he
it on.
Jersey,
No,
but I thought he was.
He's like an honorary 5th captain practically.
Yeah,
I mean, when we did the local live show after they won the state championship, we invited. Usually we just do the captains, and we invited the captains and Tommy because it just felt right.
Did we have to sing Sweet Caroline or something?
Yeah, we queued up a little Sweet Caroline for them.
That's the good stuff right there, man. Wow. I will say, man, this game, I will never forget this game. Like, if this is the first time you're watching this game, go back, watch it on YouTube without us losers commenting on it the whole game first.
Well, they'll still have to listen to you commenting on it, just live.
You're going to get real dose of me. I'm coming for you no matter what.
The matter of whether you want 2016 Ken or 2020 Ken. It's like
Trust me.
It's like Avengers Endgame of hockey.
You want 16 Ken. You do not want this. This is a few pounds, not in the air department. Okay? Not going well, Rob. Quarantine is hard on a man.
Yeah. We'll get through it.
It's too easy to water take in.
You call it take in.
No, I don't know what I said. That was
Okay. I didn't know if that was a regional thing. I'm not sure.
No. Take that. Cut that.
I can't cut it. We're live, Ken.
We'll get it in post. It's fine.
Well, yeah, some people call it pop. Some people call it soda. Some people call it Coke, even if it's not Coke.
Yeah, that's weird. That is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
That is like... There she is.
Put it in the books.
Wow, look at me. I'm putting him in the grave 5 feet under.
Well, the grave is 6 feet, but I think that was the point.
You getting it. You're thinking.
I always love a good happy shappy.
A happy shappy. That should be a shirt.
Watch it will be like next month or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if the Mamaroneck Twitter page is watching this game right now, I know that they're quick with that stuff. So that's what I'm bright orange with just a stencil of Shappy's face.
Like a silhouette, yeah.
LMC Varsity Sports postgame show. Ken Reichman here with Will Kirk. And
look at that kid is
wow.
feeling it right now, huh?
We've been working so hard for a game like this, and I mean, we're not going to leave it on the ice in a loss. So I think everybody just pulled it together in the third period, and we had a team effort going into this. We really plugged away at it. So it was kudos to our team.
Yeah, definitely one of the many heroes of tonight's game, but what was the message like on the bench over the course of the third period? Just stay patient and eventually you'll break through?
Well, hey, yeah, I mean, we all have been on this varsity team for so long that we know not to panic. And I think as soon as you start panicking, that's when...
Kid's got a great set of hair, huh?
Yeah, you know, it's there's all kinds of different good hair. I remember Michael Carducci was known for the flow.
Yes, he had the salad.
You mentioned 50 shots on goal on Sam Seltzer, who really stood on his head. A lot of you guys took extra time with him in the handshake.
Man.
What'd everybody say?
Yeah, I mean, hey, he's an incredible goalie. You look at him down the ice and you say, wow, he can't be that good. But he's a tremendous athlete, and he deserves everything he had here tonight. Hopefully he has a good rest of his career.
And how do you guys prepare for Sunday?
Well, hey, I mean, like what I was saying in the locker room is you don't win a game like
I
that.
love how he starts every answer with, well, hey. And I'm like, yeah, hey, what's going on, man?
I love that answer, though, is you don't win a game like that and you don't win on Sunday.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
And he was right. I mean, they won the game 4-1. Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah. I always made Steve talk to Shaq.
Well, what do you have against Shaq, Ken?
Nothing. I got nothing against a happy Shappy.
Well, I told the boys that we have to stay together and keep working. I painted apparel. I said, you have a veteran coach here. In baseball this year, the semifinals, we beat Arlington a couple weeks before. We were down 1.
That's what I love about Shaq. He's always planning for next thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's never the same sport. He's always planning for baseball.
I mean, it's incredible. You think about year round. I mean, he's running baseball tryouts, especially this year, while he's preparing for a state tournament hockey game.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The amount of time he puts into these programs is incredible.
Guy's a legend, honestly.
I mean, he's a 100% deserving New York State sports, baseball, Westchester sports. Any Hall of Fame he's in, he deserves it. Any Hall of Fame he's not in, he should be in.
Yeah, I don't think that's a question. He's still going strong. I mean, I haven't been up there in quite a while.
Yeah, still going strong. I saw a Facebook post the other day. He did. He assembled a bunch of photos of the baseball players, getting ready in uniform, like we're ready to go. And
oh, cool.
Yeah, so they're doing all they can.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean,
I know this has got to be tough for him. I know he likes to move around a lot. Just kind of being stuck at home. And
wait, you're telling me this guy likes to do stuff?
Yeah, I know. You'd never know. But
no, you can never get that from.
And to stick with your game plan and play your game.
Yeah, because we're so deep and we always get a lot
Steve.
of shots.
He's got a great facility, though. I mean, I haven't actually been there, but I've heard he's got a batting cage in his backyard. So
that'll do it.
He's got some workout space. He's able to keep moving, and I know I don't know if he still is. I know he likes to jog around town in his signature bike shorts.
Signature. Ooh.
Oh, their signature.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ken, you probably don't know because the only time he doesn't wear them is when he's coaching hockey or baseball.
Okay, so what do you tell me the legend of the bike shorts?
I don't know how many pairs of them he has, but they're gray and they come right above the knee, and they're athletic.
So he looks like he's in.
And he'll be running around in 20-degree weather with the bike shorts.
So you telling me he looks like Kevin Bacon in the first Halloween?
He looks a little better than that, I hope.
And Kevin Bacon wasn't in Halloween. I apologize. He was in
yeah,
Friday
we know.
Yeah. I just don't want to. I don't need no comments. Okay.
Well, they're obviously elated with a victory like this. This can be the catalyst that we were talking about. The momentum has been building for years here in Mamaroneck.
That was a nice shirt I had there. I wonder what happened to that thing.
I know I had to give you another one because you lost one. I don't remember when that was, before or after this.
All I did was lose those polos, man. That was my whole life.
Well, I have a couple left. If you ever come up and visit, we're getting new ones because the logo's changing, so you can have another one of the old ones.
I'm coming. I'm going to be up there. I'm coming up. My wedding is in December.
Post-COVID.
Post-COVID. I mean, I'm not coming up now. That'd be crazy.
No.
And wins this one 4-2. From all of us here at LMC Varsity Sports, I'm Ken Reichman. That's Steven.
Bye, Ken Reichman.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, Steven Astis.
Steve. I love your credits.
They've been the same since 2009. Different people, but
I was going to say, do you not change the names?
I changed the names.
I love how you always put yourself in for all the stuff.
I did it. I don't deserve credit.
I did that, and I did that.
I did it. I really did it.
Really, it was me. That was fun, man. I love that game.
Yeah.
Sorry I was MIA for the first couple minutes here. A little tech trouble, but it seems I've got my setup, right? There was no trouble after that initial bother, was there?
Yeah, we got it done. No, I think we were good. I think if you want to invest in one of those like headphone sets with the mic, like that might.
You keep telling me that.
The Apple ones.
I feel like you were telling me to and no longer asking me to.
It could be better. I mean, I have coworkers. We Zoom call every morning as a staff, and
Hold on here. I might have something sitting around.
I'm gonna
Don't
murder
go.
you if you
What'd
have
you
them
say?
now. Nothing. That was not a threat. That was not a threat.
Yeah, watch yourself here, buddy. Let's see if this does it.
Going in. Can you hear me still?
Yeah.
All right. How about now? Am I better?
Ken, we should have done this 2 hours ago.
No way, really?
You sound so good now.
Do I look like a pilot though?
I mean, look at me. I'm wearing the,
This is my very, very inexpensive PlayStation microphone.
It doesn't have to be expensive. And I think, while we have everyone here before we go off, we have video conferencing tips on our website. Check them out. Having a dedicated microphone is going to help your audio quality. Wearing headphones is good, or even the earbuds, because it separates your speaker from your microphone, so you won't get any feedback that way.
Wow.
So just some things that they're going to help everyone out there, because everyone's doing a lot of video conferencing these days.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. We should have done. I mean, you sound better. Apparently, I sound better.
You sound fantastic.
I sound fantastic. I don't even sound better.
We're going to use these for the pod next time we do the pod.
Wow. Well, we'll see, because I can't plug them into the phone.
Oh, well, it's probably maybe we'll do a Zoom if it's before COVID ends. We'll do another Zoom pod. Yeah.
Well, I think so. So, folks, I mean, this was fun. I had a great time.
This is great. Fun. Love revisiting that game.
I think people will have fun rewatching the game. Number one, I think people enjoyed the Twitter poll. What'd you get? You got like 100 votes on that thing.
Something, yeah. And all four of those games would have been a lot of fun to do. This one was a lot of fun. Yeah. I think you might have seen some of them. I don't know if you've seen all of them.
I don't think I've seen all of them.
You definitely didn't see the football game from this past fall, Mamaroneck. That game was insane.
Was it?
I think there was a touchdown. I think the first half, every team scored on every possession.
Jeez Louise. And
it came down to a last-minute field goal for Mamaroneck. Or maybe it was an extra point. No, I think they scored a touchdown to tie and the extra point for the lead. And then the other team drove down the field and tried like a game-winning 45-yard field goal as time expired. And it might have had the distance, but it was wide left.
45-yard field goal. Dude. No Minnesota Viking has hit a 45-yard field goal in 2 decades.
And the Bears until this past year either. Yeah.
Double doink, man. Double doink.
Oof. Classic.
All right. So at least we got tech figured out after the game.
After the game. So, hey, it's better for next time. Now we know.
Yeah, we'll get a new set of games. We'll put them out on Twitter. Maybe we do another one of these in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think we can recycle the 3 games that didn't win the poll.
Absolutely.
We'll find another one.
There was there were some folks, some other LMC folks who were mad at me for voting for my own game up there. So I won't vote for myself next time.
I mean, you didn't play the game.
And
you're going to be commentating it either way.
And I will be voting for the baseball game next time.
All right.
All right, boys and girls.
All right. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. We'll do one of these again soon, I hope. And follow me at LMC Varsity. We'll have all the information, especially if we decide to go the poll route again. That'll be hosted there.
Yep.
Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you real soon.
Yeah. Be good, folks. Everybody stay happy, stay healthy, stay inside. Stay inside. Inside. And then when you're done being inside, after you've been inside, then we can all go outside. And that is that.
That'll be fun.
Won't that be something? So
all right.
Stay happy, stay healthy. Thanks for tuning in.
Stay safe, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Bye.